Okay, so one of the things I wanted to go over was this question on oil prices, which is something that we're definitely interested in, and really it centers around supply and demand, and that's really the purpose of this class, to understand supply and demand. So I'm on the MarketWatch site right now, which is a great site. It gives a lot of different information. It's from the Wall Street Journal. Once again, I urge all of you to get the student subscription to the Wall Street Journal, and at that point, you will get access to stuff like MarketWatch. But at any rate, I'm on the futures page, and I'm going to hit up crude oil prices. And when I hit that up, I'm going to get the full look of crude, and you can play around with this chart, and it's pretty terrific. But we're going to look at the oil prices as far as the chart will give us, which goes back to January of 10, which is pretty good representation of where oil is. And if you notice, oil at one point hit almost $100 a barrel. So a barrel is roughly, I mean, if you want to do the math, a barrel is roughly 40 gallons of gas. But then you got to add in the cost of making it into gasoline and fees and taxes. So it's a little bit involved. But the long story made short is that when gas prices hit that level of $100 and gas was almost $4 a gallon at the gas tank, the whole supply demand equation starts to kick in. And what winds up happening is we, in fact, demanders or buyers of gas who use gas for your car, your house, or anything that you energize, they are going to react to those high prices, and in response, they do a number of things. And what you saw when the prices got that high is people will purchase cars that are more efficient. They'll use solar energy, and even furthermore, we started to allow more fracking. So you're starting to see a situation where, as these things came online, the supply side of the equation starts to expand or move. The supply curve moves to the right, and and if you know your supply demand curves, the supply curve moves to the right, and what you start to see is more supply coming to the market, and therefore prices start to decline. And that's why you saw this dramatic drop in about 14 and 15, where prices went down as low as 35. And frankly, they haven't recovered much since, which is great for all of us because energy costs are such a high portion of our expense. And some of it was political. We were involved in a lot of different things overseas, and some like the Bush administration, the George Bush Jr. administration. I think they were very pro. They were tied to the oil industry, so they weren't exactly being punished for bringing in high prices. And that may be just a bit of my own opinion. But at the end of the day, with different administrations coming in, you start to see the lower oil prices kick in. And frankly, if you're following the papers, as I ask you, you'll start to see that heating oil, gasoline, gas prices have come down for the same reason, where there's much more supply. So right now, gas is around $56 a barrel, which once again correlates to like 40 barrels. So the actual price of gas, if you were going to figure it, would be, say, if you put the crude at, if you were a person who was a refiner, you would say $57 a barrel. And if you're getting 40 barrels, that's the generic unit of measure. Then that means the actual cost of gas right from the well would be $1.42 per gallon. But we know we're paying something like $2.50 because you have to add in the taxes and the cost of delivering the gas and making it into gasoline. But that kind of gives you an idea of the supply-demand dynamic behind crude oil, and hopefully it kind of better illustrates what we're talking about in terms of doing understanding the supply-demand question when we talk about crude oil. Thank you.